So you know how to make an LOR, right? But what if I tell you there are 10 mistakes you can make while making an LOR? Correct. There are 10 mistakes we can actually make while drafting an LOR or asking an LOR from a professor. And because if one mistake goes here and there, your application will look very bad. So in this video, I'll be talking about 10 mistakes you should avoid while making an LOR. So if you're interested, keep watching. For those who are new to the channel, my name is Rijul and I'm a data science student pursuing my master's in UC Irvine right now. And yeah, this video is specifically for students who will be applying for the fall 22 cycle because it is November 17 or 18 right now, and you will be asking for LORs in the upcoming months. So first, let me talk about what actually is a letter of recommendation. So an LOR is basically a draft which like for example, when you apply to the application, when you go into the portal, they ask for letter of recommendation details. First name, last name, email and phone number. You give them the email, they will send a request to the professor, and the professor has to like fill in the letter of recommendation or upload a document there. This has to be done for each and every application which you do. So this is a very important part of your application, and trust me, like it is very important right here. So in this video I will be talking about 10 mistakes you should avoid. So without further ado, mistake number 1 is choosing the wrong recommender. Wrong recommender means that not choosing a person who is like very patient with you. So for example, you are applying for 15 to 20 universities. You ask the professor that hey, I need an LOR, and he or she agrees to it. But when the LOR like keeps on going, for example, they agree for 5 to 6 LORs, and then you apply for more universities and then they back out. So this is the worst thing which can happen to you, and if you are not completing the LOR of the application will get rejected. So always choose the person who you first of all know, have a good communication with, who you can contact easily, and fourth, who is able to write letter of recommendation for a lot of universities and who has a lot of patience. Find the professor and ask them for the letter of recommendation, not just like any professor, because trust me, it will matter a lot in the long run. Mistake number 2 is not giving enough time to the recommender. For example, you are applying for the fall 22 cycle, and the deadline is December 15. So go and ask them for the LOR right now. Like go right now. Ask them that hey, I will be applying for the university and you might be receiving an LOR request around this timeline. So give them a timeline beforehand, like 1 month before. Because if you go like 2 days before and they're not available, you will get into serious trouble, and you won't be able to find another professor who can give you an LOR on such a short notice. So always give enough time to the recommender. Mistake number 3 is not validating your candidature. So for example, when you are asking for the LOR and the professor just like drafts a simple LOR saying that hey, he or she is good in maths, but if they do not give an example in that like degrades your application, because anyone can say that hey, I'm good in this, I'm good in that, but is it backed by examples or achievements? So they have to show that in the LOR that hey, you are good at this because you have done this. So always ask them to put in examples where you have done something like good, or like you have achieved something. Always put them in the LOR. What mistake is not including areas of improvement. Now everyone wants to like bring the best LOR that hey, I'm the perfect person for the job, you are requiring 100, I am 105. This does not play well with the university, because they want like a very generic application which you there are weaknesses as well as your strengths here. So always ask your LOR to like include at least one weakness which they think you have, and at least include that, because if you are like the perfect person for the job, you might not get the job. Mistake number 5 is using a cold dry tone. So cold dry tone is basically when you for example go to a person and you do not want to say hi to them, but you have to say hi to them that hey, hi, how are you? And this is a similar dry tone if they're using in the LOR. The university might get a hint that hey, this professor does not know the applicant very good, and they are not close, they have not worked with each other, so they might reject your application like straight away. So always contact a professor who you know, who you have a very good communication. Number 6 is not providing enough information to the recommender. So for example, I'm recommending someone, and if I do not know the name, age, achievements, internships, experience, any research he has done, any volunteer activities, everything about the person, I cannot recommend the person. So always give each and every information about you to the recommender. For example, I gave my resume as well as my internships, work experience, my volunteer activities, my research experience, all of that in a simple resume format, and I gave it to the recommender. Now it is up to them how they perceive your information, and then write your LOR. The seventh mistake, and it is like the most childish mistake you can make when you're filling the application, when they ask for the first name, last name, phone number, as well as the email ID of the recommender, you give the wrong email ID. So this cannot get bad like more than this, because the recommender is ready and you have given the wrong information and they have sent the information to the wrong person. Even the email is not right, it might not reach the professor at all, and this will like get you into serious trouble, because a lot of universities do not allow to edit your LOR details after a certain point. So always double check your information, the phone number as well as the email, because the email is the only part where the university will be sending the LOR request. Tip number 8 is again like excessive praising. You cannot ask your recommender to like say that, hey, this person is good till A to Z everything, and this is excessive praising. This does not go well, because not a single person is perfect right now. Everybody has weaknesses as well as strengths. You have to put them both into the LOR, stating that, hey, like for example, the first paragraph will be this person is good in this activity, second will be this person did not perform well in this, but I think he or she can improve in that. This is basically how you write an LOR, and again I will be providing a lot of templates in the description below, so go check them out, and from them you can make a perfect LOR, and trust me, you'll do good. Ninth mistake is narration. You cannot ask a professor to say that, hey, you have to include these 3 to 5 lines. The professor has to make an LOR which is very generic, like they're just like typing it out, they are not narrating it, like it is not pre-planned what they have to say. They have to say it on the, like they have to type it from the back of the mind, and this looks generic as well as this looks very authentic. So this is mistake which you should not make, and always try to ask a professor to make a SOP which is as generic and as authentic as possible. Last mistake in the letter of recommendation is copying someone else. So I get a lot of like messages from people saying that, hey, please send me your LOR which you like used to get into UCI, and we'll just like copy paste the same thing, and trust me, it does not go well. Try to write your own try to get the professor to write their own letter of recommendation, because if you're copy pasting from someone other, they have it in the system and it will not go well, because if they match and it is same to the like previous applications, you might get into trouble. So like do not copy paste, make it from scratch. I know there's a lot of time still left right now, because a lot of applications are still being considered for the fall 22 cycle. It has not even begun, right? It is from December, so chill and make it from scratch. So this is it for the video, guys, and I hope you get a very good understanding of what things not to include in your LOR, what mistakes to avoid, because everyone is like stating that, hey, how to make it perfect. I am stating that how not, like what mistakes not to make in the LOR. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I will be very happy to help you. And another thing, if you want to follow my Quora space, which is USA Masters Sub, you can do that. I post a lot of content on USA Masters, specifically on that Quora space, and you can join that and follow me there. And yeah, इस वीडियो के लिए इतना ही, मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए बाय बाय. Coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in